He finds a totally drunk girl and thinks she is perfect novel material, hoping he doesn't look like a creep. Does she have zero self-defense? He decides to step closer. How will she react when she wakes up? Landmine girls are usually trouble, but her looking at him like trash would make an amazing story breakthrough. Honestly, a pretty girl drunk in the rain has a 99.9% chance of getting kidnapped. Leaving her here means she might wake up in some stranger's house tomorrow. He decides to wake her up. She only drank a single can and passed out. Did she really not know her limits? Or maybe she is dealing with some heavy stuff. Hey there, are you doing okay? Sleeping here is not safe at all. Because bad guys are everywhere, and she did not lock up. She asks for help, but phone booths only lock from the inside. So she wants him locked inside with her? Oh boy. She wants him to stay until morning. He tells her this is incredibly dangerous behavior. Is she not worried he might do something? He is the one who should be scared. He has to get up early, so he offers to call the police, but she refuses. All right, alternative plan. If she trusts him, she can tell him where she lives. He can carry her home later, or just bring her to his place. Since he has work tomorrow, she can leave when she wakes up, but he feels like a total creep. Yeah, never mind. That plan sounds pretty sketchy. Wait, what did she say? His place is tiny, so she gets the couch, unless she is too tired. If she is, she can have his bed with clean sheets while he takes the sofa. She is completely out. Time to carry her to bed. He warns her about the physical contact, asking her to nod if she's fine with it. No response means yes, apparently. He puts her on the bed and tosses a fresh blanket. Good night. Next morning, she's gone. With security around, he doubts she stole anything. He just wants to forget last night. Wait, she cleaned his entire room to pay him back? Respect. He finds her waiting outside with groceries, wanting to cook for him. But she locked herself out and waited at the flower bed for 3 hours. She really acts like a stray cat. Now she wants a spare key, and honestly, that is adorable. Wait, did they not agree on just one night? She claims she never said that, but he needs answers. He has to know her story before making any decisions. They head inside to talk. First question, what is her name? An Qing. She is 19, lives nearby, but her lease is ending soon. Is she trying to freeload? Bold move, girl. She promises she will help clean up. Promising she can keep him happy, she begs him not to throw her out. He can barely afford a cat, let alone a clingy landmine girl. But first, he needs answers. Where are her parents anyway? Does nobody actually look after her? She mutters that her parents are in another city. As for school, she dropped out. Currently working part-time. She used to live with her grandmother, but she passed away recently, leaving her flat broke. With her grandmother gone, Anki is completely alone. And because of that, she wants to stay with him? She timidly nods, but honestly, this is a recipe for disaster. Does she even know what a normal guy his age might do to a girl like her? She knows, yet she expects him to just house her for free and raise her like a flower? But your plants look so healthy, she whispers. He facepalms. He is just being realistic about his empty wallet. He can only take her in if it does not ruin his budget. Hearing this, she looks down. She promises she won't be a bother, saying she will stay home and cook. She will do the laundry, buy groceries, and handle all the chores. She even offers to find a job, swearing she won't cause any trouble at all. As if. Even ignoring the money, having such an attractive girl around is a massive distraction. In this tiny apartment, they will hear each other breathe. What about privacy? And seriously, why him? If someone else had approached her yesterday, would she have made the same desperate offer? She says no. If she lies, he is kicking her out. But her reason? Because she has been stalking him for 2 years. Bro, what? Her eyes do not look like she is lying. If that is true, how did he miss it? Is she a stealth master or is he just clueless? She looks way too innocent to be a pro stalker. So why follow him? Why did she follow him? Was yesterday all part of her plan? Anki, he is just an ordinary broke college student. Did they cross paths before? Because honestly, he has absolutely no memory of her. Well, at this point, he has to let her stay to figure it out. Are you really serious about this? She nods. With that settled, it is time to make dinner. Wait, she wanted to cook for him, but he shuts that down quickly. Is he worried? Worried she can't cook? No! Or does he not trust her because the room is still messy? No, she has done enough. Just rest. So he is not kicking her out? Only temporarily, but man, she just keeps asking questions. There is a medical term for people who cannot think for themselves and just keep asking why. What is it? She asks. It is called a mild cognitive delay, he jokes. Why? She spots tofu, mushrooms, cabbage, and sauce. Oh, they are having sukiyaki tonight. Exactly, but he is too broke for meat, so no complaining. No worries, she has a backup plan. Wow, she did not expect Cheche to actually have the rest of the ingredients. Hold on, how does she know his name? He never mentioned it. Well, over time, you just sort of find out. She mumbles. She is something else. This girl looks like a wild landmine girl, but she is actually super timid. If he keeps interrogation mode on, she might cry. Better to wait for the right moment to crack this mystery. By the way, recently, he kept hearing scratching at his door like a stray cat. Was that her doing too? No, she says, but when he checked the peephole, nobody was there. She hid, right? Yeah, she is pretty short, so squatting down kept her completely out of sight. So this stray cat has been trying to get inside for ages. Surviving the freezing cold is honestly a miracle. Since she survived, she will probably leave once she warms up. He bets 3 days. She is definitely leaving within 3 days. But wait, she only eats that much? Total bird appetite. So Cheche asks her if she normally eats this little. Like, is she seriously only having one single meal a day? He wonders what she even eats at home because she looks so tiny and probably weighs under 100 pounds. She admits she definitely doesn't weigh that much and mostly just eats cheap carbs. She says carbs are cheap and easy to pair with stuff like tea, ice cubes, or even soda poured over rice. Wait, soda on rice? Now that is actually wild. She tells him the taste is pretty mid, but as long as it fills her up, she is fine with it. It is low-key heartbreaking because she basically stopped eating real meals ever since her grandmother passed away, so he asks where her money actually goes if not on food. She explains that she uses her small budget to buy cute dresses, makeup, and essential skincare, but they're always the cheap kind. Since she cannot afford anything expensive, he realizes she is basically skipping meals just to prioritize her aesthetic. So basically, she is fine with downgrading her daily essentials, but her outfits have to be the absolute cutest. She asks if that is a compliment, but he just ignores it. She says she wants to avoid bothering him, so besides her part-time job, her absolute top priority is writing books. Since inspiration does not have a strict schedule, she often pulls crazy all-nighters just to type away in the dark. He warns her that skipping sleep like that is super unhealthy, but she drops some crazy logic on him. She tells him this hilarious theory that the lifespan people lose from pulling all-nighters is somehow made up for by staying awake even longer. It increases your active youthful hours while cutting down your boring old age, which she thinks is a great deal. So to her, it is basically just a life hack for maximum efficiency. But our boy immediately debunks that, pointing out that sleeping late and waking up late still wastes her time without actually giving her any extra hours of wakefulness. But then she hit him with, wait, who said I wake up late? He mentions that since he has school on weekdays, he won't be around during the day. She eagerly offers to do absolutely whatever he needs, promising to do her best to make sure he is fully satisfied. He just wanted to warn her that he cannot be there 24/7, so she will have to feed herself sometimes. She totally understands and promises she won't starve, but then asks if he ever needs her to bring him food. She says she can easily pack a delicious homemade bento and bring it directly to his school or work. He points out that those kinds of favors are usually meant for couples or close family members. But she asks why a relationship cannot just start backwards as long as the final outcome is good. But our boy is not about that life, telling her he does not want anyone they know to misunderstand their situation. Undeterred, she promises she will work hard until he genuinely wants to eat her cooking of his own free will. Alright, so this cozy vibe is cool, but get ready because things are about to shift. Out of nowhere, the bar owner calls Xiao, asking him to rush over for some emergency overtime. She promises to pay him every single cent of overtime, suggesting he can use it to buy food for his cat. He agrees and tells Ankur he has to go to work, warning her to stay home and call him if anything happens. but then she points out that he still hasn't even given her his phone number yet.
She promises not to bother him, but insists she will reply instantly 24 hours a day if he ever needs her. He arrives and the boss rushes over, telling him there is a wild customer they cannot handle.
Xiao Su is confused, since he thought he was just there to mix drinks or wash cups, not deal with crazy customers. The boss explains some random girl has been sitting and crying non-stop, and she already cursed out every single guy sent to check on her. He reminds her that he is just a basic waiter, not a therapist, and helping out last time already pushed his limits.
He tries to say it is not about the money, but the moment she offers triple pay, he immediately agrees.
The crying girl screams at everyone to get lost and stay away from her, completely losing her mind. The boss points her out, promising that if he calms her down, his pay triples, plus he gets Monday off with full pay.
He says he cannot promise anything, but he will give it a shot.
She snaps at him to stop sending people over, but then she stops and stares at his white hair. She asks if it has dyed, but when he tells her it is completely natural, she bluntly tells him that it looks totally messy and just super ugly. He mentions that they are basically the same age, so why is she even writing a book? Writing a book?
She asks if he is actually one of those Nangong guys, and if he is just full of sweet talk.
Is he here to trick her? He just shrugs and tells her she can believe whatever she wants.
She snaps at him for staying quiet, claiming he only came over to hit on her anyway.
But our guy keeps it real. Someone asked him to keep her company, and he can leave whenever. Wait, is he saying he actually has zero interest in her? Well, now that he is here, she refuses to let him leave. She threatens to file a complaint unless he sits down and finishes every single drop of alcohol on the table.
He is completely dumbfounded by this sudden accusation, pointing out that he has not actually done anything to bully her yet.
Even if he walked away right now, his boss lady would not punish him. He is just a part-timer, and keeping guests company is completely out of his job description. Honestly, this interaction is pure comedy, and she is basically trying to pull a classic honey trap on him. He agrees to drink with her, but warns her to keep her hands to herself. He is only here to keep her company, not to offer any other services. Fine then. She challenges him to a wild dice drinking game. Either one of them completely passes out, or they finish every single bottle. She softens up a bit and introduces herself as Yuan Xiao. He jokes that her name sounds delicious, but she quickly explains it actually means cool and carefree. He introduces himself as Cheche and asks why she is drinking so heavily tonight. Turns out, she is just miserable. He kindly offers to listen if she wants to vent, and that is when she finally admits that all of her close friends have completely abandoned her. She cries that she has zero friends left. He asks if they were actually important to her, and she says they were incredibly cool people. But they parted ways tonight, meaning she basically lost 3 of her best friends in a single day. Since she barely had any to begin with, she feels like she has absolutely nothing left now. He tells her out with the old and in with the new, explaining that in a transactional society, most friendships are just built on fake relationships anyway. He tells her she will understand when she is older, but she snaps back, claiming he knows absolutely nothing about their deep bond. He quietly agrees, admitting he does not have many friends either. Suddenly, she asks him if he ever listens to music.
He says of course he does, but when she asks if he watches live shows, he is completely clueless.
She sighs, realizing they live in completely different worlds. She tells him to just forget it and keep drinking. He asks if the friends who dumped her were actually her cheerleading teammates, and she just mumbles some random English lyrics in response to him. Suddenly, she tries to drag him back to her place, but the boss lady instantly cuts in, reminding them that they do not run that kind of shady business here. She tells the girl that employees cannot just be taken away, asking for her understanding, but the girl is not having it. She scoffs, claiming no bar owner hates making money, demanding to know his actual price. She demands to know exactly how much it costs to take him home tonight, insisting she wants him right now. The boss lady chuckles, saying she cannot argue with rich kids. She lays down the rules. She needs a $200,000 cash deposit into a VIP membership card first. Only then will she share his contact info, though whether the girl can actually win him over is entirely up to her. 200,000? Cheche is shocked, pointing out she does not even look like she has that kind of money. But she is dead serious, telling the boss lady to make him wait while she goes to find a way to get the cash. She demands he wait for her to return. When she leaves, the boss lady looks at Cheche in absolute disbelief.
She tells him to go ahead and clock out early, promising a fat red envelope with a 5 times bonus later. 5 times? He feels like something is off. Surely his boss is not actually going to scam that girl out of $200,000. But hey, as long as he gets his cat food money, he is good. His boss tells him he can take Monday off with full pay to rest up. Honestly, this boss lady is low-key a menace, but hey, a free paid holiday is a win. Meanwhile, she is secretly plotting to feed him to some creepy creature. She also reminds him to keep the kids' belongings safe and not lose them, which leaves him completely confused. She insists it is fine, since it is just some ID cards and tiny accessories. Besides, leaving them with him saves her the trouble, especially since that kid will definitely come back to stalk him. He really got that 5 times bonus. He just hopes Xiao does not get scammed too hard. Thinking back, she did mention wanting to start a band earlier. She even asked him to join, which is hilarious because he knows zero music theory. Thank goodness he turned her down. Oh, well, her school is close by. Once she picks up her bag this weekend, they will be completely even. Back home, he sees the little guy who clearly skipped dinner just to wait for him, falling fast asleep on an empty stomach. Why does he have to be so cute? He thinks he can make him stay past 3 days, but he is underestimating him. He cannot even look him in the eyes. He tells himself to focus on something else and quickly distracts his own thoughts. Wait, a black and white maid outfit with thigh highs? How is it him? Wait, teacher? Teacher, you haven't really been talking to me lately. Is something wrong? Are you annoyed because I keep bothering you? Did I make things difficult? Don't worry, teacher. I'll control myself so I won't come back to you. Seeking comfort anymore. Teacher, are you asleep yet? Because I really can't sleep. But teacher, I'm still waiting. It's been 3 months. I canceled all my other jobs just to wait. For 3 months. I will track you down, he sighs, regretting ever accepting her friend request. Now he needs a new artist. Oh, you're awake? What's wrong? You don't look very happy today. No, it's nothing. I was just waiting up for you last night, fell asleep by accident, and felt a bit bad. Cheche explains he got held up by a new client who left some belongings behind, apologizing for being late. Oh, there's no need to apologize. I didn't really mind anyway. It's just that looking at this light blue style, it feels a bit familiar. I was wondering if they might be a Jiraike too. Maybe. She's a stubborn but honest kid who cares deeply about what others think. Quite like a cat. Or a caged bird that's been ignored for too long. Since she's lonely, putting myself in her shoes wouldn't hurt. He decides to cook breakfast, but she immediately declines, saying she doesn't eat in the morning. He says he doesn't either. She stammers that if neither of them eats, there's no point. Besides, didn't they agree she'd handle the chores? But he replies that eating breakfast and wanting to cook are totally different. Plus, even without a breakfast habit, if the food's already made, he'll eat it just to avoid wasting it. That's healthier, right? Since it's Cheche's kind gesture, she happily accepts. Honestly, this is so wholesome. She asks if 1 small rice triangle each is enough for him, but he cuts her off. This is all for you, he says. He's heating up last night's leftovers so her hard work doesn't go to waste. She praises his cooking, teasing that living alone and eating takeout all the time is basically slow poisoning. She promises that now she's here, he'll never have to worry about takeout again. This is too sweet. He asks about her plans for Sunday. She says she usually just writes, but she's open to other ideas. He quickly waves it off, promising not to disturb her work. He knows writers need focus, so she shouldn't worry. He asks what she'll do instead, and she says she's heading home to grab some things. And she'll look for a part-time job, then come back once he's done. But then she spots someone. She thinks the other girl is so cute. If she doesn't approach her, she'll miss out on a potential bestie. But wait, she's just a casual fashion fan. What if the girl's a hardcore Jiraike? That would be wild. Looking closer, she's definitely a real Jiraike girl. Cute face, head-to-toe brand name clothes. The girl notices her staring and asks if something is wrong, questioning why she's being so sneaky. She stammers, saying she doesn't know her, but just stopped because she was incredibly cute. My bad. To her surprise, the girl says she is pretty cute too. She says thanks, but then the girl suddenly asks if she plays any instruments. She admits she's completely clueless. The girl sighs that it's a shame. She asks why, but the girl just dismisses it. She explains she wanted to start an ACG band with only Jiraike girls and really liked her vibe.
Hearing that, she feels an unexpected wave of defeat, even though music isn't even her thing.
She finally found someone with the same style, yet she feels totally rejected as a person. But wait! She calls out to the girl, asking what kind of skill level she actually needs for the band. The girl says it doesn't have to be high since she's a beginner too. She just wants like-minded friends. But she adds there's no point since she doesn't play. That's when she blurts out that people loved her singing. The other girl instantly lights up, laughs, and drags her to get Boba, excited to share her plans. She reveals her idol is Sayuri, but playing guitar and singing at the same time is too hard. So she really needs a dedicated vocalist who can handle ACG songs, and honestly, she's perfect for it. She says the moment she spoke, she knew she wasn't just cute, but had the perfect voice. That sweet voice is like strawberry cake, perfect as their lead vocal. Wait, is she actually serious? Of course she is. She does not half-ass things. If An Qing thought it was just a joke, too late. There is no backing out. She is officially locked in. Our main girl promises she won't bite. Mostly. But she begs An Qing not to leave her behind because they are going to the big stage. An Qing finally agrees to join as a reserve member, but with some major conditions. She is busy with her main hustle. Turns out An Qing is actually an artist. Yep, a full-time professional illustrator. Xiao instantly realizes this means free logos, album art, and band merch. An Qing immediately shuts that down. No freeloading allowed here. Xiao laughs it off, knowing artists survive on endless commissions. She promises to pay up, but An Qing's currently taking a break to level up her skills. Xiao wonders if it is a creative block, but the truth is way more personal. An Qing wants to sharpen her craft to capture someone's heart. Talk about motivation. Xiao totally respects the hustle because she is chasing someone too. They are basically instant best friends at this point. She officially introduces herself as Xiao, pledging her full chaotic support. An Qing appreciates the energy, but she still has to work multiple part-time jobs. Between working for pocket money and zero savings for gear, rehearsal time is tight. Basically, no art commissions means An Qing is low-key broke. But Xiao is actually loaded and drops 200,000 yuan for startup cash. Now that is a serious power move to seal the deal. Suddenly, Xiao drops a wild rule. If An Qing has a boyfriend, they are done. She refuses to let her teammates be happier than her. Misery loves company, guys. And she realized she just teamed up with a certified landmine girl. She assures Xiao her apartment is completely empty of any boyfriend energy. But Xiao is not buying it. An Qing looks way too much like she is planning a date. An Qing pinky promises she is telling the absolute truth. Xiao literally tries to invite herself over to spy on her. An Qing dodges the bullet, making an excuse about grocery shopping and finishing her chores. She quickly leaves after promising to keep in touch. Xiao lets her go, but promises she will definitely find her house eventually. Talk about an intense start to a beautiful, chaotic friendship. Later, An Qing runs into a local bar owner outside the shop. She claims she is just passing by, but the boss lady catches her lying. She asks why An Qing is so obsessed with Su Cheng. An Qing acts defensive, but feelings are hard to hide. Sometimes, love does not need some grand confession or years to develop. A single look says everything, and the truth is written all over her face. The boss lady laughs at her playing dumb.
She reminds An Qing of how she clung to him late last night.
She even drank from his cup and threw her leg over his lap.
An Qing completely panics. She blames the alcohol, but the boss lady offers to show her the security footage.
At this point, she thinks she is being blackmailed.
She withdrew 200,000. The boss is basically like, where is the cash? Show big sister.
And look at that, she actually brought it. She's even ready to throw in Suche's contact info and his daily schedule as a bonus. Have more cash? The boss can easily arrange private one-on-one time. Making him only have eyes for her is totally on the table. But wait, she has to tell An Qing that the 200,000 starting capital is officially gone. Seriously? Is Xiao actually brainless? Her love brain is literally short-circuiting.
She snaps out of it, apologizing for spacing out. The other girl asks if something is on her mind. Turns out she just met a kid outside who seemed pretty unique, built different, honestly.
He is also a landmine type, so she struck up a chat, but within half a day, he dropped a bombshell.
and he casually tells her that he might need to borrow money. So typical of landmine girls, right? Totally unpredictable. But hey, that is perfect inspiration for her new novel. He is cute, but her questionable hobbies are honestly pretty hard to support. What's his deal? Well, this kid apparently loves spending money on male hosts at clubs. Wait, how old is he? Is he even an adult? Yes, he is. Even if he is barely legal, that's still bad news. She warns her to stay away before she gets corrupted. All right, don't worry. She promises to cut him off and leave him on red. Bad kids are not worth the trouble. If Cheche does not like someone, she will straight up cut ties with them.
She is acting so unusually obedient, it actually feels sketchy. So Cheche asks An Qing to share more about her family.
He promises he won't ask for free, offering to share his own story in return. She happily agrees, saying her family is honestly just super ordinary with nothing special going on.
She has 0 friends and only had her grandma for company. He asks if she is local to Tianhai. She explains she grew up in a tiny southern town with a teacher mom and a cop dad. Her grandpa works security nearby, so she moved here with her grandma to look after them.
Honestly, her background is so clean, it is almost hard to believe.
Cheche tells her to stay away from bad crowds, promising to handle any creeps who bother her. An Qing happily agrees, saying she will share literally everything with him from now on. She promises to report her daily schedule to Cheche and send him videos whenever she goes out. She even wants to sync her phone password and social media accounts so he can track her entire life. Talk about extreme dedication. Now she wants to hear his story. Cheche warns her it is boring and mostly just him being alone, but she insists. So he starts. He lived in a boarding school since middle school. His mother, Miss Sue, ran a company, which is why he took her surname. She was always busy with music production and ran a media company that focused heavily on live streaming. But years ago, she straight up manipulated him, claiming the company went bankrupt. She said they had to sell the house and left him to survive entirely on his own. Because of that, he worked part-time jobs for rent and college. Meanwhile, his dad was a whole different story. He was a mysterious band member and an elusive novelist who was barely ever around. Cheche barely ever saw him. Honestly, it feels like Cheche has just been drifting through life without a real goal. His parents did music, so he tried music. His dad wrote novels, so he wrote novels. But are these his actual passions? It is hard to tell if he actually likes doing any of this. So when did Cheche actually start writing? Junior high? Yeah, 7th grade. No friends in class, so she just started doodling in a notebook. So what was her very first book about? It was titled No Time to Play? Exactly. Growing up alone as an only child, she really craved that emotional connection with family. Since his mom was always way too busy to look after him, he grew up pretty lonely. He would occasionally hire an older girl to come over, cook for him, and help him bathe. He actually asked his foreign blonde maid about it, and she told him this kind of home service was completely normal. To him, it was magical. She would wear this gorgeous black and white dress and always talk so sweetly to him. Honestly, she told him so many amazing stories that he was completely content. It is probably why he never felt the need to chase older women when he grew up. He was actually younger than Cheche, but as he grew up a bit, that lovely maid suddenly vanished from his life one day, and she never returned. Honestly, this is low-key heartbreaking. Where did she go? Maybe her contract just ended, or she had her own life to live? Wait, so he was literally living all by himself since he was a kid? Yeah, but he was never scared. Afraid of the dark or the cold. Back in middle school, when the house was empty, he only did 2 things: practice piano and read. Playing piano got pretty tiring, so he would just lie down and read. He absolutely loved it. He read tons of books, but his absolute favorite genre of all time was something special. Was definitely light novels with a heavy fantasy vibe. Honestly, this guy just loved his magical worlds. And is that what he's still actively researching today? Why was he so drawn to those fantasy stories anyway? The reason? He just longed for everything in those books. That mysterious, magical atmosphere made him feel like he was actually there. He literally read thousands of books over thousands of hours. Then, when he was just a teenager, everything changed. He stayed up one night and fell head over heels for a book about pure, undying devotion. It gave him a real-life goal. It completely changed his entire life. Because he had never experienced that level of pure love, he
desperately wanted to find it. He wanted to find someone as absolutely perfect as the characters in his books, even if they did not exist in the real world. Oh, by the way, there is no need to open your eyes just yet.
I already got your breakfast ready. I ordered a family-size sandwich pack and some super fresh milk.
The delivery guy should be there soon, so remember to grab it and eat up. I will be waiting for you to come home, okay? Cheche totally gets it. Since he does not have a part-time shift tonight, he tells her to call him whenever.
She asks if she can call when she misses him, and then she heads out.
But then, out of nowhere, Yuan Xiao finally tracks down Cheche. He demands to know why Cheche sneaked out early and made him waste so much money. Yuan Xiao had to save up for so long, putting literally all of his allowance onto one single card just to make this work.
Just to buy Cheche's contact info from that greedy boss lady. Now he demands Cheche take responsibility. Otherwise, he is going to literally starve.
Talk about a plot twist. Did that awful boss lady seriously scam a little kid? Her phone is switched off. Since she is probably still sleeping, Cheche decides to deal with her in the afternoon. Cheche asks Yuan Xiao to explain exactly what happened that night, telling the kid that he's actually the only person he has met lately who actually understands him, and he really wants to cherish that. But how does that connect to getting scammed out of $200,000? Yuan Xiao explains that once he got the cash, he ran back. He went back, the hotel doors were locked. He waited outside for 8 days, and the boss lady actually kept her word. Once he paid her $200,000, she finally handed over the contact. Cheche can only sigh and try to calm the kid down. Yuan Xiao immediately perks up and asks if Cheche is finally going to hang out with him at his house. Or even his own massive place. Cheche tells him to hold on, warning him about any future events at their shop. He warns Yuan Xiao not to believe a single word, especially from the boss lady, but the kid is just confused. He insists she is actually super nice, gorgeous, and makes him feel totally safe just standing near her. Cheche wonders what she even promised to brainwash him like this, but Yuan Xiao just brushes it off. He genuinely thinks she is a great person who has helped him out quite a bit. He even feels his money was totally worth it as long as Cheche hangs out and listens to him. At this point, Cheche can only nod. He completely gets it. So Cheche starts the timer, telling Yuan Xiao that once he burns through those $200,000, their deal is officially over. Got it? And Yuan Xiao is totally down, immediately begging Cheche to pick him up from school tonight. Meanwhile, his band replaces him, claiming they will play perfectly without Yuan Xiao dragging them down. Turns out they already found a replacement. Was kicking him out planned all along? But he was the founder of the band. He is crying, asking if he is really that useless when he never once stopped trying to improve. He never wanted to be deadweight. Why could they not just wait for him a little? Honestly, this is low-key heartbreaking, but then he vows to build a stronger team to crush them. He wants to demolish them. Absolutely. Just as he is having a total meltdown, Cheche suddenly steps in like a true savior, asking who dared to bully him. He tells him to stop crying and promises to help him. He grabs him, saying they need to get out of here first to talk. Yuan Xiao just keeps sobbing about how trash he is. He is totally heartbroken, but Cheche already guesses this is about his toxic teammates. Yuan Xiao cries that they found someone else and replaced him. They even took all his prized guitar picks, leaving him empty-handed. Cheche tells him to calm down, promising that he will solve it. But Yuan Xiao is too panicked, arguing that Cheche has no way to help him. Cheche explains that since the old band is full, they're probably prepping for a gig, but he promises to help and says he has plenty of spare picks anyway. He's ready to let him borrow his own gear first, promising to get the rest back. Yuan Xiao asks if he is seriously willing to give him his gear. Cheche tells him to trust him. He has got tons of professional equipment and is willing to lend him absolutely anything he needs. But Yuan Xiao hesitates, trying to back out. Cheche is confused. He is terrified of being mocked again, joking that maybe he should just find some handsome older guy to stand up for him instead. Cheche laughs at him for flirting while being scared, then tells him to listen closely. He reminds Yuan Xiao about playing music together, but the kid immediately backtracks out of fear. He says he was just joking and cannot handle another brutal heartbreak like that. He said just letting An Qing take the fall if anyone has to face disappointment. Since An Qing looks like he has a boyfriend anyway. That way, even if they dump him for being bad, he won't break down. But Sujay clarifies he isn't just joining. He is actually a professional guitar teacher as a side job, which completely shocks Yuan Xiao.
He has trained plenty of students, and since he wants to pay back that 200,000 favor, he is going all in.
He tells Yuan Xiao to trust him and learn guitar from him from the ground up. Now this is where the author absolutely cooked. Sujay promises that in 6 months, Yuan Xiao will completely gap his old band's new guitarist.
He will teach him music theory and harmony.
He will cover composing, arranging, and even lend him his legendary guitar, the Guirenyao, for live shows.
It is a legendary heirloom from his dad, basically a walking cheat code he can borrow until he gets his own. All Yuan Xiao has to do is promise to complete every single assignment and fully cooperate. For a measly 200,000, Sujay is about to deliver a masterclass worth way more than that.
The kid looks so utterly brainwashed right now, he would easily fork over another 400,000. And it is only 6:30. All right, so Nini spots them showing up way before their shift even starts. She calls Che her absolute cash cow, since his visuals easily charm every girl around. But our guy plays it cool, telling her to just deduct the drinks from his pay.
She laughs and agrees, even throwing in a free fruit platter for them.
Then she looks at Yu Chao, telling her she better lock this guy down. I mean, he literally rearranged his entire work schedule just to match hers.
As they head to the back booth, Yue Xiao admits she is taking his promises seriously.
She is ready to practice like crazy and treat his music gear with absolute care. But here is the thing, she is still low-key terrified of crushing the new guitarist. Like, does she really have that final boss energy? Che just looks at her.
He notices her anxious look and asks if she has that little faith in him.
Yue Xiao quickly shakes her head, admitting she's just scared of being too slow. She is worried she will embarrass him, thinking he might give up if she reveals her flaws.
But Che just smirks, asking if she genuinely thought that would scare him off.
She sighs and lists her flaws, admitting she has always had bottom-tier school grades. Che shuts that down immediately, pointing out that bad grades have literally zero connection to music.
She mumbles that she has ADHD and can never sit still for long.
He calls her bluff, pointing at her bandaged finger from practicing until it almost bled.
She is shocked he noticed, but Che just asks if she ever had a teacher.
When she says no, he is genuinely surprised she learned the basics all on her own. She explains that a really cool senior girl from school showed her some stuff. This senior taught her the very basics and recommended some online tutorials. From there, she just spent her boring free time practicing like crazy.
And that is how she got to her current rookie level.
She realizes she's self-taught almost everything after just learning the bare minimum.
Intrigued, he asks what exactly this mysterious senior taught her.
Yue Xiao says her senior taught her that electric guitar is not about boring finger drills. Instead, it is just about combining scales, chords, and arpeggios, which completely shocks Che. He freezes, because those are his exact words. He demands to know her guitar's brand. She describes a beautiful gray-black guitar with a brand starting with an M. It was a stunning instrument she had never seen in any music store. That is a global limited edition Nightingale guitar. But suddenly, they are at his house. His massive villa is sealed off, but he insists on sneaking in to get his gear. She giggles at a rich guy climbing a window of a 200-square-meter mansion. They step inside the dark, empty house, and she comments on how lonely it feels. But he softly tells her she is here now.
She warns him not to drop his guitar, recognizing its legendary quality instantly.
She asks why he stopped playing, and he admits he turned it into work.
She wonders if teaching her is also just work, but his answer is changing. He wants to see her go far, promising intense music theory starting next week.
When she doubts herself, he says this will make her old band beg for her back. He reassures her she is not stupid, she just never had the right mentor before.
He hands her water, warning her to stay hydrated so she does not get a headache.
Looking around, she comments on how empty and quiet his massive house is.
She teases him about his messy room, joking she might find his corpse next time.
Talk about tough love. Suche warns Yuan Xiao that he is only cleaning her messy room this once.
He is going to teach her how to do it herself, or she can just live in a dumpster, so she offers to pay.
She wants to give him extra money, but Suche tells her it is not about that, leaving her completely confused.
He says she needs to learn to take care of herself, but if she ever gets bullied, she can call him directly.
Even if he is busy writing, he tells her to call anyway. What if he is currently sleeping? He promises that he almost never turns off his phone. He leaves her fruit and a sandwich for the morning. She asks why he is so good to her, and he says it is because of tuition.
She calls him a liar, but honestly, Cheche is such a green flag. He knows what carrying everything alone feels like.
Xiao stops him, calling out Cheche's name to ask if he has another second. She asks if he will ever come back. He promises to visit once she finishes her homework, and she eagerly vows she will.
He tells her not to just talk big, and she snaps back that she won't slack off. He tells her to text when home.
I love this couple so much. She promises to study hard, and then we cut to her welcoming Cheche back home.
Wait, the jealousy is real.
She is secretly sniffing him, worried he met up with Xiao, but remembers she never wears perfume.
He asks how she knew it was him before he even unlocked the door, and she says she could never mistake his footsteps.
She has been waiting all day since he promised to be back early. She even skipped dinner to wait, so he goes to wash up. The soup she made is still warm and tastes amazing, but then she looks at him closely and asks if he is already full. He admits he ate a little earlier, but says he still wants her cooking. She happily tells him to eat up. Suddenly, she stops. She asks if he walked through the garden because she can smell a faint hint of flowers and grass on him.
He brushes it off, saying he probably just walked past some bushes. She quickly agrees, trying not to show her jealousy.
Later, he notices some organized files. She explains she found them in the gaps between the desk and the cabinet while cleaning. She even sorted them neatly by thickness so they would be easier to find. Cheche is surprised and asks how she knew that they belonged to him. In just 3 days, she turned his messy apartment into a real cozy home. Since it is already the 3rd day of their agreement, she mentions packing her things tomorrow. He is taken aback and asks what for. She says she needs to pack her clothes and bags as she does not want to cause him trouble. He immediately objects. Who said anything about kicking her out? She reminds him of the 3-day limit, but he says she never bothered his work anyway. Plus, she kept her word about cooking and cleaning. He tells her she can stay for as long as she wants. He wants her to stay until she actually has somewhere else she wants to go. She looks at him with pure hope, asking if, really? He confirms it, but says they need to clear one thing up. He asks if she found a part-time job yet, and she nods. When he asks what kind of work it is, she explains that the local convenience store she wanted was already fully staffed. So she is looking for a remote gig where she does not have to deal with strangers. He asks what exactly she will do. She says she is still looking, but honestly, she is just terrified that Cheche will realize she is the artist he blacklisted. He calls out her contradiction. She just said she found one, but now says she is still looking, stammering that she's unsure. Cheche points out how tightly she is clutching her bag. What she is hiding definitely is not some normal new job, so he clarifies that he is not trying to interrogate her about her current job. He just wants to understand the real mystery behind her actions. He asks why she would rather lie than talk about her past. She desperately pleads that she never did anything bad, and he believes her. By keeping her here, he wants to at least make sure she is safe and not hiding from someone who hurt her before. He wants to ensure no one is threatening her. He asks if she will open her locked bag, promising he will never force her. He will only ask once. What kind of remote job uses the tools she still keeps locked up inside that bag? Is it writing, music, or drawing? He asks which one she used to do, guessing if she was a musician. An Qing is caught off guard, trying to play it cool. She smiles and tells Cheche that he guessed right. She claims she is a beginner, but plans to pursue music. When he asks about her role, she proudly claims she is a lead singer. He asks which band, and she says it is a newly formed group. But when he asks for the name, she stutters that it is still undecided. They are still looking for members, and when he asks if she already joined, she says a verbal agreement counts. Now she is sweating. Oh no, he is onto her. She panics because she had no idea he knew so much about the music industry. Actually, it's that kid she ran into on the street last time, the one from the bar. He's putting a new band together and wants her to try out as the lead singer, but she only said she'd think about it. Cheche asks if she was planning to ghost him, and she admits that was the original plan. But after getting rejected for a part-time job today, she suddenly remembered his offer. He said they could get commercial gigs and make real money, but she hasn't fully decided on joining yet. She'll block him immediately if Cheche wants. ultimate devotion. Cheche tells her she doesn't need his permission because he's not her guardian, let alone her owner. But she points out that he literally told her to stay away from the guy last time.
He reminds her that the guy was completely wasted the first time they met at the bar.
He just wanted her to see the guy's true colors before deciding to work together.
Hanging out is fine, but he warns her not to pay anything or sign anything until she knows he is legit.
She smiles, knowing Cheche is just worried about her, but he claims he just doesn't want her getting scammed.
Has he even heard her sing? Not even once.
Turns out she knows absolutely nothing about music theory, lyrics, or instruments, leaving Cheche baffled.
The guy only chose her because her voice sounds nice, but Cheche points out that is just a basic entry ticket.
That's just the start. Without pitch, rhythm, and breath control, she will struggle to even finish a single song.
Sure, she can practice slowly for fun, but making money with a band requires at least one killer skill. Songwriting, instruments, or stage presence, something has to carry them.
Without those, it all comes down to pure talent.
She admits she tends to lose interest quickly, so Cheche advises her not to rush into music as a job.
She asks if he thinks she can't do it, but he says he just doesn't want her getting fooled by sweet talk. Instead of standard empty compliments, he wants her to realize the brutal sacrifices required on this path before she makes a real commitment.
If she still wants it after that, they can start with vocal range and rhythm training.
Then they will move on to pitch and basic theory before she can even think about writing songs or playing instruments.
She looks at him, asking if he will be her teacher, since she doesn't trust anyone else. She wants to grow under his guidance, and honestly, this is the most dangerous trope in the book.
But she genuinely wants him to watch her succeed with no hidden motives.
Cheche warns her that acting cute won't cut down her practice hours, but she promises to commit.
He sets a weekly test, and she agrees completely, ready to put in the work.
Cheche listens to her quiet voice and realizes that with her natural tone, they might actually stand on the same stage one day. He agrees to guide her, promising a full training plan if she actually has the talent. She gets super excited, but he warns her not to celebrate too early because the test starts now.
She panics instantly, asking if they can just do it tomorrow so she actually has time to prepare.
But he wants to hear her raw bass line. Now she's totally stressed because she was just trying to hide her Wachia identity. Cheche tells her not to stress, saying they are only testing 3 things today. Just pitch, rhythm, and range, and if she fails, they simply start from the absolute basics.
He promises he won't judge, so he tells her to start by singing her most familiar song a cappella.
She stalls, asking if it absolutely has to be her absolute favorite, trying to buy some time.
He starts counting down, 10 seconds. Too fast. As he counts down, she frantically wonders if a nursery rhyme counts, or if she should just confess she is actually an artist.
She stops him, asking if he will still teach her even if she performs terribly, and he promises he will.
But he warns her not to slack off or try to trick him. At this point, there is no running away, because while people lie, the voice never does. Yep, she is officially cooked.